Depression and trucking, the two really go together, unfortunately. I think that one of the biggest concerns that I see my drivers have is they're out on the road, the isolation is setting in, and then before you know it, the person's feeling depressed. So, as far as tips of how to deal with depression, I would say the number one thing that truckers can do is they can get out there and talk with their friends, talk with their family. Just make sure that you are maintaining some type of connection when you're out on the road. Because I think the drivers that don't, or they let that taper off as time goes on, that's what causes the most problem. So, nonetheless, the tips that I give as far as keeping in touch is often make sure that you use your voice as much as possible. Because so many drivers and just people in general is they focus on text messaging, sometimes email, but I mean texting is probably the biggest thing that I see, and so much is lost in the written word, and text can be misunderstood and so on. So definitely make sure that you focus more on voice. So as far as any kind of Skype or FaceTime or old-fashioned telephone, that's a good thing. It's also important to look at your energy levels. So if you've been driving all day and then you decide to talk with the important people in your life at the end of the day and you're very worn out, be careful of that. Maybe if you can talk with them before you get so tired, that's something that can help tremendously. Looking at communication skills in general, it's a good idea to look at just the basics that helps you to have that higher quality of communication. So one example would be like I statements. So you discuss how you feel when you're talking with someone. So instead of saying you, see, that's going to put the person on the defense. You say, I feel this way, I feel that way. That's one little tip that helps. If you find yourself getting into arguments quite a bit, just making sure that you listen more than you talk, that's something to look at. Because what's more depressing than being out on the road and then getting into an argument with your loved one when you're thousands of miles away, right? So not a good thing. Paying attention to what you're thinking. If you're getting stuck on really negative thinking, be careful because that's going to add to depression. And it's easy to do. So a lot of times I talk with drivers who all they do is listen to news radio as they drive. That's generally really depressing. Usually the news doesn't talk about all the great things in life. Nonetheless, they do talk about some good things every now and again, but I talk to so many drivers that they get deeper and deeper and deeper into the negatives in the world, and they feel that the world is hopeless. So again, listen to some good music, listen to some, some podcasts, something that is maybe fun, listen to audiobooks that are maybe just pure fiction. Or you could even work on some self-improvement stuff, especially in the audiobook and podcast area, and learn quite a few things. And that would be more positive and more uplifting. Now remember, the more exercise you get, the better you're going to feel. And I know so many people, just in general, they don't like to exercise. I don't blame them. It's not the highlight of my day either. But nonetheless, the more you get out and walk around, it can just be walking. I think it's 32 laps around your truck and trailer. That's a mile. So, you can get out there and you can walk. That's going to help you feel better. And the better quality food that you eat, the better that you will feel. So eating less sugar, less candy, and more of the fresher foods, which I know is harder to come by, but nonetheless, I've got a lot of trucker clients that they have all this produce, and they might have a refrigerator where they can keep some fresher stuff, and it really helps them. And I've got plenty of clients that just use a cooler. So nonetheless, there's some tricks out there to brighten your day. And I think it's very well worth researching and seeing what you can do to make